Industries that are hot, sectors set to outperform the market. That's what's here in Zacks Industry Rank Analysis. Well, we're going to talk about a familiar time of year and how that correlates with a particular industry in this week's Industry Rank with our senior market analyst, Charles Rotblood, who puts the report together for us. And you're kind of bringing up two different issues here in the same sentence, almost. Two different words, how you use two different words in the same sentence, and they don't necessarily go together, or you have a hard time seeing how they go together. So I'm going to have you explain it for us. On your radar this week is the textile apparel manufacturing sector, and you're correlating what's going on there, I think, with the back-to-school shopping season. You're saying that the group has a strong revisions ratio. First of all, what does that mean?
That's basically the number of positive revisions to negative revisions. And if we look at the industry group as a whole, we're really just summing up how many positive revisions to full year forecasts have been made over the last 4 weeks versus negative. And in general, you want to see more positive revisions being made than negative revisions, because that means analysts are either more bullish or less pessimistic than they were before. So overall, that's a good sign. It means that analysts are actually raising their full year forecasts when we see that on multiple companies, and that's a positive trend for the industry group.
Okay. And then how does that correlate with the back-to-school season?
Well, the reason I pointed this out, it is pretty timely because people are doing their back-to-school shopping right now, and there's all sorts of questions about, how strong will shopping be?
Right.
How much will consumers spend on back-to-school shopping? And obviously, a lot of these apparel manufacturers, they both sell directly, but they also sell to retailers. Mm-hmm. And so the spotlight's going to be on them indirectly. Obviously, during back-to-school, the primary spotlight is on the retailers, but obviously we're looking there too, not only for back-to-school, but even as we start going into the holiday shopping season. What's selling, what's not selling, how is consumer spending holding up relative towards expectations. And one of the things we actually saw with 4 companies I mentioned here is that all 4 cases, and really some other companies within the group, is that we are seeing sales and earnings hold up better than expected. I'm not saying that things are great. The consumer's strapped. People have cut back on their spending. And certainly clothes is one item where people are going to look at stuff and look at their kids and say, you know what, Johnny or little Susie, I know you wore that shirt last year. It still fits you in still good shape. You're going to wear it again this school year. So that really comes into play. And obviously, some of these companies obviously make clothes that are more geared towards adults than towards kids.
Right. But
overall, it's the whole attitude towards spending towards clothes. And what we're seeing here is that spending is holding up better than a lot of analysts expected. Still down from a year ago. I don't want to make things sound better than they are, but relative towards expectations, we are seeing better performance.
So as the consumer remains at the heart of the discussion as far as economic recovery is concerned, are you suggesting that depending on how they perform or react, let's say, during this back-to-school shopping season, that therein could lie some answers as to the future of the recovery?
I think so, a little bit. It'll actually give us an idea of the pace and really how are people holding up relative towards what the statistics say, relative towards what sentiment says. And I think when you look at the apparel manufacturers, obviously everybody's going to be looking at back-to-school shopping kind of as an early indicator as to what the holiday season's going to look like. And obviously, we also want to get a sense from retailers who are having to buy all their holiday stuff right now. And obviously, the more secure retailers feel about holiday shopping, the more likely they're going to order. And obviously, going down the pipe stream, how business is going to be for the apparel manufacturers themselves. So it's all kind of tied together. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people are looking at back-to-school shopping as an early indicator as to how strong or how weak holiday shopping season is going to be. I don't expect a particularly good holiday shopping season, but I think in this case it's relative towards expectations as to how good or bad it will perform. And right now we're actually seeing profit forecasts being raised on several apparel manufacturers. So there's definitely a sense that maybe analysts were too pessimistic with their full year forecasts. And that's a glimmer of light shining into the sector.
If back to school does not materialize as well as expected, might we see a crank up of the old promotion machine among the retailers?
I think so. I don't think you'll see it as much as you have in the past, simply because retailers have already gone to promoting. They've really done a lot to try and cut back inventories, really look for goods that they can sell at lower price points and get consumers in there. And certainly we're seeing a shift in consumer shopping, and we've talked about this before, towards your TJ Maxx, towards your Walmarts, towards your Family Dollar. So consumers are definitely looking for bargains. But I think for retailers themselves, they have kind of cut back things. And it's interesting, when you look at some of the companies I actually mentioned, they actually did, a few of them did actually talk about margins being cut a little bit. So they're also conscious of what's going on there, realizing that consumers themselves are looking for lower price points. Not to say that some higher end things are selling. One of the companies I mentioned is True Religion. It is a company that sells its products at a premium, had some good sales growth, particularly with direct to consumer. So in some instances, consumers are spending more, but by and large, we are seeing consumers being more price conscious and trying to look for things that are bargains. And I think retailers, by and large, have tried to adjust their inventory levels and really try to adjust what they buy to match those consumer preferences.
All right, you can check out some of the other companies that Charles mentions in this textile group in the text version of this week's Industry Rank on the homepage of Zacks.com. Scroll down that page until you see the Industry Rank Analysis green stripe, and the headline right under it is what you click on. It'll take you right to all of that pertinent information. With Charles Rotblatt, I'm Terry Ruffalo.